Linda Brooks seemed to have it all: a beautiful family, a comfortable home in a quiet suburban neighborhood, and a loving husband. But what if the life she was living was a facade? What if it was all built on secrets, lies, and betrayal? In the blink of an eye, Linda disappeared. No trace, no warning, just gone. Her sudden vanishing left her family and the entire town in a state of disbelief. But what if Linda wasn't simply a victim of foul play? What if she had uncovered a dark secret, one that cost her everything? As the investigation into her disappearance deepens, the case takes a chilling turn, revealing a conspiracy that no one saw coming. What did Linda know, and why was she silenced? Stay with us to uncover the truth. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more shocking twists as the story unfolds. Maple Creek, a picturesque, tight-knit town where neighbors greet each other by name and everyone knows everything about everyone else. It's the type of place where you never expect anything sinister to unfold. Linda Brooks, 34, appeared to be living the dream. She was married to Mark, a well-respected businessman, and they had 2 young children. Their home was the embodiment of suburban bliss, the picture of the American family. Yet, beneath the surface, cracks were beginning to form in Linda's perfect life. Jason Carter, a new neighbor, moved in next door. He was a widower in his early 30s with a mysterious past. Linda, ever the friendly neighbor, welcomed him with open arms. Before long, Jason and Linda were spending a lot of time together. Conversations turned into long walks, shared glasses of wine, and late-night talks. And the chemistry? It was undeniable. Linda's husband, Mark, was often absent, busy with work, and seemingly unaware of the growing bond between his wife and their neighbor. But the affair wasn't the only thing stirring in Linda's life. She had uncovered something that, if exposed, would unravel everything. For months, the affair between Linda and Jason remained hidden from Mark and the rest of the world. But the signs were starting to show. Neighbors began noticing Linda spending more and more time at Jason's house, the late-night visits, the glances that lingered a bit too long. The rumors spread like wildfire, but no one could be sure. Was this just a platonic friendship, or was it something more? What was clear was that Linda wasn't the same. Her behavior became erratic, anxious, distracted, her mind always elsewhere. She was no longer the woman she had been. And then Linda started talking about leaving Mark. She confided in her closest friends about her dissatisfaction with her marriage, about her connection with Jason, and how she was planning to make a change. But she never said what that change would be. Was it just a fleeting desire for freedom, or had Linda uncovered something much darker? Something that would change the course of her life forever. Then, one evening, Linda disappeared. It seemed like any other evening. Linda kissed her children goodnight, told Mark she was stepping out to run some errands, and that was the last time anyone saw her. Mark called her phone repeatedly, but it went straight to voicemail. Panic set in. Her car was still parked in the driveway. Her purse was on the kitchen counter. Linda was gone. The police were called, and the investigation began. But the more they searched, the more questions arose. Had Linda left on her own, or had something far more sinister occurred? Neighbors were questioned, and one name kept coming up: Jason Carter. He had been the last person to see Linda. He claimed he hadn't seen her that evening, and his story was shaky at best. Jason's alibi didn't add up, and his behavior seemed strangely unaffected by Linda's disappearance. The investigation uncovered a startling revelation. Linda hadn't just been having an affair with Jason. She had uncovered a much darker secret. Linda had been in possession of information that, if revealed, would have destroyed not only Jason, but also her own husband, Mark. As the police dug deeper into the case, they learned that Linda had been blackmailing someone in her life, someone close to her. But who? Linda's friends revealed that she had been planning to leave Mark, but she had also been planning something else. She had become obsessed with a discovery: the murder of Jason's ex-wife, Jessica Carter. Jessica had been found dead years earlier in the same area, her case long gone cold. But Linda had connected the dots. She had uncovered Jason's involvement in Jessica's murder and possibly Mark's too. Linda had discovered a dark secret, and she was going to expose it. That's when Linda became a threat to Jason and Mark. And in order to keep their dark secrets buried, Linda had to be silenced. Then the plot thickened. Just when it seemed the investigation was making progress, Jason Carter disappeared. But Jason wasn't just missing, he was taken. The police discovered footage from nearby candy stores showing Jason being forcibly dragged into a van by two masked men. Jason had been abducted. But who were the men behind the kidnapping? And why did they take him? The police suspected that Jason's disappearance was tied to Linda's uncovering of the truth. Had he been silenced before he could testify? Or was he simply another pawn in a much larger game? The twists continued. Jason and Mark weren't just connected by Linda. They were connected by something much darker, something that involved more than just a murder. It involved organized crime, blackmail, and human trafficking. But there was one last piece to the puzzle that had remained hidden all along: the key. Linda had left behind a key, but not just any key. This key opened a storage unit in a remote part of the industrial district.
Inside the unit, the police found documents, photographs, and a collection of items that were deeply connected to the criminal network Linda had uncovered. But there was something even more unsettling. The truth was still incomplete. What was hidden in that unit, and who else was involved? As the case deepens, new questions arise. Who else is connected to Linda's disappearance? Could there be more people involved than anyone realized? And what will happen when the truth finally comes to light? The investigation is far from over. Linda's disappearance is just the beginning. The key to this entire mystery is still out there, and it may be more dangerous than anyone could have imagined. If you're enjoying this investigation, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on the next shocking revelation. The truth is getting closer, and we're about to uncover even darker secrets. Join us as the mystery of Linda Brooks unfolds. This case is far from finished. When we last left off, Linda Brooks had vanished without a trace. Her family, her neighbors, and even the authorities were left stunned and confused. Her husband, Mark, and Jason Carter, the man she had an affair with, were both questioned, but the answers never came. And then the plot thickened. Linda wasn't just some housewife trapped in an affair. She had uncovered a secret, one so dangerous that it got her silenced. But now, after weeks of uncertainty, the truth is starting to surface, and it's darker than anyone could have imagined. Just when the investigation seemed to stall, the police received a new lead that sent shivers down their spines. It came in the form of a mysterious phone call. Someone, an anonymous tipster, claimed to know what happened to Linda Brooks. The voice on the other end of the line was shaking, desperate. "They don't want you to find the truth," the voice whispered. "Look at Mark's connections. Jason knew more than he let on. Find the key." The call ended abruptly, leaving behind the chill of uncertainty. The one thing Linda had been hinting at in her journal, a key to something hidden. But what? And why hadn't anyone found it yet? But it wasn't just the call. A breakthrough came when Jason Carter's records were dug into further. The man who had been living next door to Linda wasn't just a grieving widower. He was connected to something much worse. As the investigation team continued to probe Jason's background, a shocking discovery was made. Jason had been involved in several unsolved cases of missing women across the country. But the most disturbing detail, Mark Brooks's name kept appearing in the same places, not just casually, but as someone deeply involved. It wasn't a coincidence. Jason and Mark weren't just neighbors. They were part of a larger, more dangerous operation, one that involved blackmail, extortion, and human trafficking. Linda had somehow stumbled upon this operation, and she was going to expose it. But Linda didn't just know about the trafficking. She knew something even more dangerous: a murder. Linda had uncovered the truth about Jessica Carter, Jason's deceased ex-wife. Jessica had been murdered years earlier in a mysterious case that was ruled as a random act of violence. But Linda's discovery, Jessica's murder, wasn't random. It was tied to a much larger criminal syndicate, and Linda was on the verge of revealing it all. But someone couldn't let that happen. Then, in a turn no one expected, a surveillance video surfaced. This video was taken by a local store's security cameras on the night Linda vanished. It was grainy, but clear enough to make your blood run cold. There she was, Linda, running down the street, looking over her shoulder, clearly panicked. But there was something else, a shadowy figure in pursuit, someone following her. It was Mark. Mark Brooks wasn't just a bystander. He wasn't just an innocent husband left wondering what happened to his wife. No, he was chasing her. The video shows him following Linda into the woods behind their house, but the footage ends there. Had Mark been trying to stop Linda from exposing everything? Or had he been part of something much darker, something that Linda had uncovered and was about to expose? Just when it seemed like the case was finally closing in on Mark, another bombshell hit. The police, desperate for answers, decided to follow the mysterious tipster's advice and track down the key Linda had mentioned in her journal. It wasn't just a metaphor, it was a literal key to a storage unit. The unit was in a secluded industrial area just outside Maple Creek. Inside the unit, the police uncovered a trove of documents, photographs, and hidden cash, all leading to one horrifying truth. Mark Brooks had been laundering money for a criminal syndicate tied to human trafficking. But that wasn't all. The documents revealed Linda's name on a list of targeted victims. She wasn't an accident. She was specifically targeted because she had become too close to the truth. Linda had been on the verge of exposing an international trafficking ring, and when she got too close, she became expendable. The twist? Mark wasn't just a passive participant. He had been running the operation with Jason. The two men had used Linda as leverage to keep their operations running smoothly. But Linda had found them out, and in her final days, she had collected enough evidence to bring them down. As the pieces fell into place, the investigation took a shocking turn. Mark Brooks was arrested along with Jason Carter, who had vanished for days, but was eventually found hiding in plain sight. But here's the catch. This isn't over yet. The authorities are still searching for other key players in this dangerous syndicate. And the truth behind Linda's death is far from clear. Was she really murdered, or did she somehow escape before they could silence her? There's still one question left unanswered. What happened to the rest of the evidence Linda gathered? The key wasn't just a key to a storage unit. It was a key to a much larger conspiracy, one that goes deeper than anyone could have imagined. Mark and Jason aren't the only ones involved. Others are out there, and they're desperate to keep Linda's secrets buried. And now, with the police closing in on the syndicate's leaders, the remaining members of this dangerous network are trying to erase the last piece of evidence that could bring them down. And they're willing to do anything to stop the truth from coming to light. The key to this case isn't just the storage unit, it's the people involved. The case of Linda Brooks is far from over. Mark and Jason may be behind bars, but the true depth of the conspiracy is still unfolding. Will the remaining members of this network be brought to justice? And where is Linda? Is she alive? Or is the truth even darker than we thought? Stay tuned, because the final chapter is still to come, and it's bound to be more shocking than anything we've seen so far. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the next update on this case. We're getting closer to the truth. Don't blink, because the next twist will leave you speechless.